Up a little bit. Let me just get. Ah, Soto, you ready for week 3 NFL?
No,
No.
I'm tired already. I'm tired. I'm already exhausted from this season. This season's it's too much, man. It's too much.
It's too much. Well, you know what? We are going to do this live again, and yes, we are doing what we call picks, parlays, and pizza, and yeah, we just kind of fun little thing. It all started because for those who didn't know, Soto just doesn't understand parlays, and so we
No,
kind of taught him last year, and it was kind of
still don't.
funny, and so we're still doing it this year. We're gonna do a few fun parlays, and it's
Hmm.
all in a joking manner, and you're gonna see, we're just two idiots. That's the big thing. People don't. It's not like we're giving you
Yeah,
an educated guess. um
I
but
really want
we're
to
just
try.
we're just like the yeah we're just like real people.
I
um
want to try.
but yeah, so we're gonna go over some of our last week's picks,
Hmm.
and parlays how that went.
Oh,
Every now and then we do talk a little pizza, so I kind of want to just throw out a question for you, Soto. Because neither
okay.
one of us are eating pizza today. We're both planning it
Ugh,
for this weekend,
I
and I will say
wish.
I am ordering probably from Simon's Roast Beef and Pizza down the street because their
Oh,
pizza's good, but their roast beef sandwiches are so much better. Um,
oh wow.
so if I had to ask you and stall, I want you going a little rant here. Stall as I'm getting all
Okay.
my social media, our social media shit ready.
Oh, nice.
Frozen pizza. What is your most favorite kind, or what do you think is the best kind of frozen pizza? Because even frozen pizza, it can be decent pizza. May not be like the pizza you go out, but I want to hear, what do you think is the best frozen pizza brand?
There's only one frozen pizza that I eat, and that is Red Baron. I have it in my freezer right now. I've been eating Red Barons. Out of all the frozen pizzas that I've eaten in my entire fucking life, and I've eaten a lot, I've eaten the ones, the Totinos that are like, that used to be like $1 something in freaking Walmart. I used to eat those. I've eaten the DiGiorno ones, which are just fucking bread and disgusting. So if you don't like crust in your pizza, you won't like DiGiorno's because it's like eating fucking bread with a little bit of cheese and a little bit of fucking sauce. But through just painful experimentation, and by painful I mean delightful experimentation, I have come down that Red Baron's classic crust pizza is hands down the most consistent, the best. One of the harder ones to find these days, by the way. Market Basket never fucking has this shit. I don't know what
That is
happened
true.
during COVID, but like ever since COVID, the supply chain on fucking Red Barons is impossible to find. They have the brick oven one, which I'm not like the biggest fan of, because if you're gonna have a brick oven, fucking put it in a brick oven. But the classic crust, I used to, back in my day before I had, A1C numbers and shit like that. I used to crush the shit out of a cheese fucking Red Baron, coming home from Blockbuster Video,
Good old
all the time.
Blockbuster.
But in
Oh,
my fridge, in my freezer right now, I have a pepperoni classic crust fucking Red Baron. It's just the crust is there, a little bit of sauce. It's well done. It takes 24 minutes. I do 425 on my oven, because I like it a little bit well done, as I said before. But
mm-hmm.
Red Baron, 100%, you cannot go wrong. I mean, sure there are other options, but why?
And I have to agree with you. I had a Red Baron. The Giornos I don't mind as much. Like I said, I like
Ugh.
it. I think it's Totino's. It's like a cheaper brand. It's only like $253, I think. It's like the
Yes.
orange box. Is it Tony? No, Tony's. Is that what is it? You know what
Oh
I'm talking
yeah,
about,
yeah. You
Tony?
can make
Yeah.
like a sandwich with those. Yeah, like you
Well,
take two of them
it's
together and you make
I
like a
no,
sandwich.
that's a big ass fucking sandwich, dude. I mean, I'm talking. It's actually a full size pizza. I mean, back in our day, and I say that, back in our 30s, maybe we would
Yeah,
probably would
early
have been able to crush
30s.
it. But no, it was a full size one, and I like those for quick, easy fixes. But I was just thinking this today because I was at Market Basket, and I was just, I was going up and down the frozen aisle and I saw the pizzas. I'm like, man, they're good. But I was just curious. But yeah, you're right. Red Baron is one of the favorites. I don't mind DiGiorno so much, but you're right. That crust, but they do have different brands, but that crust is very doughy. Or as your wife says,
It's
she hates
so
bread. Yep.
doughy. I mean, I don't like doughy pizza bread. Like look, I want to be fully transparent. I will eat any motherfucking pizza if I'm hungry enough.
Mm.
Okay, I've been to bars. I don't know if you went to Panucci's with me. But like they would have like an Elio's fucking pizza there, and if you have the munchies, it's sauce, cheese, and fucking bread. Like that's gonna get you there. So I'll eat any pizza, but preference again. The Red Barons. shit, man. Like in the mid like 2000, in the mid 2010s or whatever. Um, they were like $3 at Walmart. Like I would leave Blockbuster Video, go to Walmart because it was a super center. It was still like open, 24 hours. So I'd leave Blockbuster. I'd go there, like pick up like a $3 fucking Red Baron, dude. My night was set. I mean, sure, it was 2,000 calories, uh, in a fucking in a serving because you obviously have eaten the whole pie. Um, but again, like as a quick fix, it comes out great every fucking time. It makes me want to make mine right now, but it comes out perfect every single fucking time, if you do it the right way. And yeah, the right way to do it is put it on the rack. My wife and I have disagreements about that, but the right way to do it is to have it on the rack so the bottom gets nice and crispy. So yeah, you asked for a frozen pizza rant, you're gonna get one.
Not perfect, and I've done it both ways, yeah, with the pan and directly on the rack, and pizza's pizza, so
Oh, pizza's fucking pizza. You're
pizza,
making me
pizza,
want pizza
pizza.
right now, you ass.
This
Trying to
week,
watch my calories and trying not to die. It turns
oh,
out pizza is the one thing that can kill me now. It's like I grew up and it's like, what's the one food that can kill you? It's like, oh, your favorite food. Oh, oops.
pizza. So, real quick, recap. How'd you do in your fantasy team last week? Did you win? Did you
So
lose?
I lost.
You
Yeah,
lost.
big fucking letdown from Josh Allen. That was a big problem, I think. And then I also got a letdown. I want to say I have the receiver from Green Bay, Watson, who I
Mm,
didn't want to put in there because I knew that they were having a backup quarterback replacing Love, and I was like, this is a risk. But I
yep.
was like, okay, I'm just gonna go with like what's projected because I wanted to put Alec Pierce in there, who I have on my bench, who I picked up. He ended up getting like 50 yards and a touchdown, and so I left him on my bench. Had I put him on, I would have won, because my opposing guy had Caleb Williams as his fucking quarterback.
Oh yeah, he got
So if
smoked.
I had
Well, the,
just had like one guy be productive, because Jameson Williams is great. He's been my godsend the first 2 weeks. And then I watched the Tampa Bay Detroit game last week. That was like my game of the week, and he was awesome. Laporta has been a fucking no show for me. I'm not panicking because
it's only week
like
two.
tight ends always suck for me. So if a tight end starts putting up 12, 15 points for me all of a sudden, I'm going to be like, oh shit. Yeah, I did pick him high, but that was the value of where I was drafting him, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I think he's going to be okay. Amon St. Ra, or Amon Ra, whatever the fuck his name is, St. Brown. He looked a little fucking gimpy at the end of that game after a few hits and shit like that. So I don't know. I'm hoping that the pass distribution goes a little bit back more to Laporta. I mean, I like the Lions. They did not look good to me. I know we're getting off topic, but they did not look good to me against the Buccaneers. We'll get there, but so Laporta dropped the ball, and that was pretty much it for me. I was done. I'm feeling pretty good about this week, but I'm 1-1 right now.
So I did win last week, and
I
it
thought
was
you were gonna
people.
lose.
Well, here's what happened. So those who don't know, I have McCaffrey and I have Kenneth Walker the third,
Oh
and
yeah,
both
me
my
too. I
running backs
did.
are out. Out. So I had Zach Moss, who I had to start. I picked up Justice Hill because I'm like, I have to throw someone at running back.
Yeah,
My receiver
me too.
situation's good, except for the fact that Cup got injured last week, but he got a few points. And Zay Flowers balled out for me. Even Kittle,
Wow.
speaking about tight ends, Kittle got me like 16, 17
Oh man.
points. Um, and what had happened was, so I was down by 15, 16 points going into Sunday night's games, Bears in Houston, and I have Nico Collins. And despite the fact that it was a close game, Nico Collins got it early. He got a few catches, so I ended up
Yeah.
winning. He balled out. Right now, he's
Wow.
questionable a little bit because I know but he should be playing Sunday. I always get worried when that questionable. But right now, it's hard for me to make any moves because I'm waiting for Cup to be put on IR or Walker to be considered out because
Yeah.
I only have two injured reserves and I can't make a move until one of them's officially. So my bench is full and I'm actually one plus players. So I'm just kind of waiting. I did put in for like the San Fran backups, but I missed out. But I at least moved up to fourth on the waiver wire, which will help in
Yeah.
the future. So I'm 1-1. I still like my though
Not
I'm
bad.
out Cup, I am out CMC, and I'm most likely out Walker another week. So I'm gonna play some chances. I'm actually still considering if I want to play Braylon Allen, the backup for the Jets backup, tomorrow because he did really well. He got like 18, 19 points the week before. So I'm debating because I think this is a week I need to take chances because I don't have a lot of
Yeah.
people at the moment, but they're just injured. So we'll see. We'll see. You know, I mean, it's a winnable game, but it all depends. So, but I pulled out the win, so I'm not panicking yet. If
Wow.
I got to 0-3, 0-4, that's when it's like, shit, what trades do I need to make? Because I'm going to have to. But I'm like, if I can maintain being in the middle of the pack and hopefully all
Yeah.
these guys become healthy and I can make a good playoff run, I'm golden. So, yeah, 101.
Yeah. Yeah, I picked up off not the waiver, but he was available. Was I picked up Jordan Whittington or whatever his name
Yep.
is from because he's
LA.
going to be playing the slot, and nobody had him. Nobody was even thinking about him, and I picked him up. So I have him stashed. Right now he's projected for around 6 points, but if he blows up and Cooper Cup is out a few weeks, because that's where my weakness is. I mean, running back, whatever. I mean, I only have one slot for running back, so I'm not too pressed about it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but wide receiver is like I have a ton of them. Of course, Mooney went off on my
Mm-hmm.
bench too, who
I
I
almost
fucking hate Mooney.
once of these moves happen, Mooney's still available. There's a few. I got to place my team a little bit this week, but yeah, Mooney's still available, and I thought of you and I thought about it, so I'm gonna wait till tomorrow. But yeah,
Mooney's a curse on my fucking
he
team.
is.
Always like every time I have a draft team that has him on there, it's like I lose. But then of course I leave him on the bench. If I had just played him, I would have won. If I had
Yep.
played him or Alec Pierce, I would have fucking won. But I mean, Nico's gonna be a league winner. I don't know against the Vikings. That's gonna be a tough one right there. Um, but
Well, I got him. I got
yeah,
Zay Flowers. You know, so again, even without Cup, I still have and I have Shakir from Buffalo, so I still have a strong three. It's my
yeah, I
running
wouldn't
back
mind if
situation.
Josh Allen threw the ball. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll take it. So, but yeah, we did our. You know, what we do is like we take a look at the 1 p.m. games, and that me and Soto kind of put all of our picks in a parlay, and we separate them. So we just kind of have a fun little competition. But Soto, last week you went 3-2. You missed on. You
Yay!
picked Jacksonville beating Cleveland. Cleveland won. You picked New England to beat Seattle. Seattle won. Dude, I don't
God
know what
damn.
happened to me. Not just this. I went 1-4.
Wow.
A lot of my picks, yeah. The only one I got right is Chargers. Baltimore lost to Vegas. Dallas lost to New Orleans. I took Detroit over Tampa. That was I coin flip. We talked about that. And Indianapolis, I picked, and Green Bay ended up beating them. So yeah, I got
How?
spanked last week. Even in other lines, I went like 3-13. But if you see like this nice little thing, so you took a 1 game lead, Soto, for our 1 p.m.
Yeah, look at
games.
me.
Yeah. And we don't have an official bet with each other. Maybe the loser will buy the winner a beer. That's pretty much what it's going to come
Yeah,
to at our age
I'm
and
down
shit
with
like
that.
that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had a horrible week, and but there's so many upsets. I mean, like we said, it was such a weird. The Falcons beat the Eagles. Um,
The last minute.
yeah,
The
and
Cowboys are fucking frauds.
Saints just they could be. We'll see. I know we're going to future games, but yeah,
Fuck the
the Saints.
Cowboys.
No, I got Dak Prescott, and I'm going to have to go fishing for a backup QB soon. So yeah, you're right, but I also have the
Deshaun
Dallas.
Watson did better than fucking Allen last week. I should have started Deshaun Watson. Why in the world would I have started Deshaun Watson in that fucking game? But that's football.
That is definitely football. So, but yeah, so right now, Soto, you have a 1 game lead. There is seven 1 p.m.
Cool.
games coming up this Sunday, so we each pick three to keep it even. And we're
Mm,
going to obviously go through a lot of the other games as well. But yeah, congrats.
yes.
I bombed that week, and it was not a good week. So,
I would
but
have
I'm
picked the
looking for.
same ones you picked if I had the opportunity. I mean, because the Saints, it was like, oh, maybe that's a one-off like thing, but that Saints offense,
We'll see. I
it
think
looks
in the
legit right now.
next couple of weeks. So now, before we go to our picks, we did a couple parlays last week, and my parlay, I missed Saquon Barkley because I went all out on Philly, and the only thing I got right was Jalen Hurts scoring a touchdown. But I want to talk about your parlay, Soto. We kind of just did a quick 3-pick parlay. You picked the Houston and Chicago game. I don't know if you remember your picks.
Oh,
Um,
have I
but
not?
here's what you picked: Nico Collins, anytime touchdown scorer. You got
Oh,
that correct. You
nice. Look
picked
at that.
Caleb Williams under 219.5 yards.
Hell
You got
yeah.
that correct. You
Of course
picked
I did.
DJ Moore 60 yards. He got 53. We missed out on your parlay by
Oh,
7 fucking yards. And
oh,
here's the funny thing. I don't know if I watched, because obviously as a Bears fan, I watched at the end. Yes, the offensive line was atrocious. Houston was, I did not, the Bears were in it more than they should have been, but I love the fact they're in it. But at the end, the final drive, Caleb Williams missed a wide open DJ Moore. Like that's where a lot of the frustration. But
Oh,
he was getting pressured and stuff like that. But that catch, that's 7 yards.
yeah.
But you missed a parlay by 7 yards, and I laughed. I'm like,
How?
I mean, it was a small parlay. It would have been like 12. We only, for those who are listening, or we only are doing dollar parlays because we're broke ass bitches. But that's we accept that. But yeah,
Yeah.
you almost
It's
hit your first
frugal.
parlay ever, but you missed out by 7 yards.
Wow.
So, hey, you know what though?
Wow.
Congrats. Later on, we're doing what I like to call the big kahuna parlays. This is a dumb. I
The
don't
big
suggest
Kona
it to anyone
burger.
because everyone's got to ball out. But we're going to get to that. So let's just take a
The
look at some of the games.
Hawaiian joint.
So before we get into our 1 p.m. games, let's just look. You mentioned the Pats are playing tomorrow, or it's been
Yeah.
Thursday. You got Pats
Hmm.
at Jets.
Ooh,
What are your
yeah.
thoughts? It's in New York. So real quick,
I
what are
don't.
your thoughts? I mean,
I don't see the Patriots winning this game. Although maybe they play better on the road, but I don't see the Patriots win this game, and I don't want the Patriots to win this game. I think the worst thing for the Patriots this year is if they did some stupid ass shit where they were, 500 or like a couple games over 500 and just middling. Like, I want the Patriots to suck. I want them to try and be entertaining, which the last week was.
last
Uh,
couple weeks,
but yeah, like they beat the Bengals, who almost beat the Chiefs, by the way, because the Chiefs are frauds. So sorry,
it's okay.
uh, but yeah. As I look, I'm always rooting for Aaron Rodgers to come out and his Achilles to explode. So we'll see what happens there. But yeah, I don't see the Patriots win. It's going to be kind of a thing. I'm happy I get to watch it, and that's it. That's about it. I get to watch this tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll probably end up watching this as well. And the fact that it's New York, I would take the under. I don't think this is going to be a high scoring game. I think Brees Hall is going to have his, I think he'll go off a little bit. But overall, yeah, I don't see either team really scoring like 20 points. This might be a dogfight, but in the end, it's in New York. It's hard for me. I know New England's been surprising, even in the loss, they've been surprising.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but the
The
Jets
defense is
are.
good.
Yeah, their
So
defense
your
is good, but
handcuff
so is the
is
Jets'
your
defense, and
handcuff's
that's
gonna have
where.
some problems, but we'll see. So
But I think that's the thing. You look at the Jets' defense against the Pats' offense. I think that's we'll see. Anything is possible. As we learned last week, a lot of upsets have happened. So,
that's why I'm
um,
just tired because I can't predict this nonsense. I don't think
that's what the
anyone really
fun. We just
can.
make guesses, and we're just like, yep, this is right, this is wrong. Who knows? But yeah, sometimes we hit and sometimes we don't. So there's only one game in the 1 p.m. Sunday slot that we did not take because we had to keep it even, 3 games apiece. And me, I'm saying fuck the Packers because I always will say fuck the Packers. But Packers are at Tennessee. Obviously, no Jordan Love, though he's been kind of the big player for them. Will Levis sucks. I don't know this game's going to be a tie. That's my prediction. The
Oh,
one tie this year.
gross.
Right. I mean, I don't know. It's in Tennessee. Maybe Tennessee will finally show up, but I think I always go against Tennessee, but I cannot vote for the Packers. So I'm staying out of it. I'm saying a tie. Because realistically, though, even a bad Packers team should beat this fucking Tennessee team.
This is
This
like
Tennessee
terrible, two
team
terrible
sucks.
quarterbacks. Like,
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know who
if
the.
you have fantasy receivers in Green Bay, like you're fucking crying right now.
Are you
I'm
crying?
raising my
Are you
hand.
crying?
Yeah. Oh no, I benched his ass.
Good.
Literally, I benched his ass
But
because it's
if
like
you had,
yeah.
if you had to pick a winner, because we're staying away from this one, who would you pick to win this one?
I would pick Green Bay.
Yeah. I mean,
Only
like I
because I
said,
don't know.
it's
Like,
the smarter
I
choice,
know
but
Tennessee sucks.
they do. They do. Tennessee definitely sucks. So, but yeah,
Will
I'm not
Levis
looking forward to this
specifically.
game. But anyhow, if taking a look at the rest of the 1 p.m. games, the first one I think
Hmm.
is mine, and we are looking at New York Giants versus Cleveland. Uh,
Mm.
I have not seen anything out of the Giants. Oh, you know what? Giants are going to squeak a couple this year because you know what? They're that team that just can go
How?
off. But I do not think they're going to do it against this Cleveland D. I think this is just going to be. I don't want to say a blowout. I just don't think New York's going to show. I've not seen anything, so I'm taking Cleveland in this game. It's in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I cannot see Daniel Jones doing anything.
I'm not
Or
gonna bet
like,
for the fucking Giants. The Giants are trash, man. And they let Saquon Barkley go. That's an organization that's just like a poverty organization. No, the Giants are not. I don't know. I mean, look, Deshaun Watson, whatever. It is what it is. But you're right about the defense. I can't imagine Daniel Jones getting out of his bullshit. So
no. Um,
he sucks.
Yep. So I took Cleveland officially. That's my one pick. So the next game is yours. Denver at Tampa Bay. uh,
Yeah.
I mean, this is your pick. I mean, who are you picking to win? Because I think this is pretty obvious right now.
I mean, it's obvious. I went with Tampa Bay. I just saw Tampa Bay beat the Lions. But I mean, I guess you never know.
Not against
But this
Denver
was
though.
like my safety pick because I'm like, no, I know the Tampa Bay. I saw it. Baker Mayfield's got balls, man. He was in a situation he almost got sacked and he ran for the touchdown. He got sacked 4 or 5 times by Aiden Christensen or whatever the fuck his name is on the D line guy for the Lions. I know I'm butchering his name.
That's right.
Aiden Hutchinson, maybe. Um, he absolutely was smoking Baker Mayfield all day, and Baker Mayfield stayed strong, and he played that team tough, man, and he fucking did it. So I'm a big believer in Baker Mayfield, and I think that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to just start off season 3-0. So
I
I don't think
100%
they're a
agree.
Super Bowl team, but
No,
I haven't seen
but
a lot
you know,
that's impressed me in the last 2 weeks.
but
So
here's a funny thing, and I know we're going to get to this other player I'm going to mention in a moment. Is it right now through 2 weeks? The MVP race seems to be between Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. Think about that for a second.
I know. I never thought Sam
Think about it.
Darnold was going to go off like he was going to go off. Like his weapons are ridiculous though,
Now, mind
and
you, it is 2 weeks, but yes.
it is 2 weeks. But man, he's just like, oh cool, I have Jefferson. I'm going to throw this up in the air. Oh, 97 yard touchdown. Awesome. Sounds great. So I mean, good for Sam Darnold. Good for Baker Mayfield because in my experience, I know you've been watching football for as long as I have too. It's like this doesn't typically happen when guys are on their like third or fourth team that they all of a sudden have a resurgence. So unless you're Vinny Testaverde, that's the only one I remember. Or Joe Flacco, he's been pretty good.
That's true too. All right, so the next game is my pick, and this game we are looking at, and let me just see which one's coming. Oh yeah, Philly at New Orleans.
Oh, Philadelphia,
Yeah, Philadelphia
kind
took a
of a
hit. That was the
fraudy
Falcons,
team
and
there.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna say week 2 was just weird in general. That being said, there's something about this New Orleans. It's in New
I
Orleans.
know, right?
And speaking about another MVP candidate, look at Derek Carr's numbers right now. I mean, 5 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 443
Everyone said
yards.
stay away from Derek Carr in fantasy. They were like, don't even pick
I'm
anybody who's
probably
on
going to pick him up
the
for a backup.
Saints.
If he's still available, I got to wait, but I'm eyeing him for a backup position. But so that being said, Saints are going to roll again. I think they're going 3-0. I think this seems to be a statement year. They're beating teams they shouldn't have been beat. Kamara,
Well,
obviously,
their offense is crazy, dude.
it is. And, it's one of those things. The first week, it was hard because they played Carolina. And I'm like, all right, it's fucking Carolina, whatever. But you know what I mean? Like, it's
Poor
40.
Carolina.
Then they played Dallas, which has a legit D or a better D, at least compared to Carolina. A lot of people picked Dallas defense. I have the Dallas defense, like they were one of the first four, and they tore them apart. So
They sure did.
as much as I think Philly's going to want to come back after the embarrassment of losing to Atlanta, I think the fact this is New Orleans, Saints can take a firm hold on the division for the first 3 weeks. Them and Tampa, I mean, I should say. But yeah, I'm taking New Orleans in this. This
Tampa,
might be
New
tough because I know
Orleans.
Philly can play a lot of teams tough, but I think New Orleans is going to pull this one off.
I think
I know
Philly's
it's
fine. They're going to be in that shitty ass division with the fucking Giants and the Cowboys
and
and the
Washington,
Commanders.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Philly
But
will make it because they got to play those divisions. But this game right
but
now,
that last
it's
game
tough.
was that last game was a bad sign.
Mhm.
So especially the way they lost it and stuff like that, that says a lot about coaching. Like that's not a good sign. You're right. New Orleans is rolling right now. They look like a fucking wagon. And Derek Carr has some weapons, and he's another guy that was a castaway fucking quarterback that all of a sudden is seeing a resurgence. So,
Yeah, even last year I had him
yeah,
on fantasy for a couple of weeks, and he's not going to be I mean, not like this year. He'll get those average numbers, but he's not going to blow it. But he's been doing good, so we'll see. All right, so the next game we're talking about, this is very interesting game. But we got the LA Chargers at Pittsburgh. Two. Who would have thought these
oh,
two
this one was
teams?
tough.
Who would have thought these two teams would be
Oh.
2-0 at this stage? Now, obviously, the Chargers
And
have
Herbert's not even doing that good right now either.
no, it's
Like
the rushing games.
Herbert's like,
They got Dobbins, who is the lead rusher, running back
but
right
like
now.
Herbert was like supposed to be like a fucking, an ace kind of a fucking QB a couple years ago.
Hmm.
Like had the arm strength and everything like that. Like what the fuck?
And yeah, Justin Fields obviously loves Chicago. He's got the starting job from Russell Wilson for now as he
for now.
But this is your pick, so I'm going to give this to you. What do you see in
Yeah,
this game? I mean, go ahead.
honestly, I see the Pittsburgh. They're at home. I bet against them the last two games, so I'm just saying I'm wrong. Even though I'm going, Justin Fields is managing the game. He's doing what he needs to do, and I just think that's Pittsburgh is a really good home field advantage, so I can't really see them dropping this shit at home. It is kind of a coin tossy thing, but I can't imagine the Chargers all of a sudden fucking lighting them up. I mean, I just can't.
We're going to get into that a little bit later. But I kind of agree with you, but it's going to be interesting. I always feel like Herbert and company they have that one game where they blow people out, and I don't know. I always feel like when it's Justin Fields going to implode, but right now they've both been winning for different ways. Fields has maintained. He hasn't thrown any picks, I don't think, which is the main thing. And he hasn't, he's trying to be a pocket passer. And you're right, Herbert hasn't gone off yet, but they've been doing it with their running game. So it's going to be
Yeah.
interesting. I'm with you, though. Pittsburgh surprised me, and like you, every week I go against Pittsburgh, so I'm like, fuck it. Let's just, I'll probably
I'm
agree with you on
admitting
Pittsburgh.
that I'm wrong. Like, you know what
But
I mean? I'm like, okay, Pittsburgh, you win.
But when we talk parlay, something else might come up which will interest you. But anyhow, well, that's for later. So my third and final pick for the 1 p.m. games. I debated this, but I couldn't take the Green Bay game. I am taking Chicago at Indy. Now, this is tough because Indy has looked ugly. And we all saw Chicago's weakness was their offensive line. I honestly
Their
think this is
offense in
good.
general, man.
Well, it
Just
was, but the Houston's defensive line is one of the best, and they were in on Caleb Williams in 2 seconds. Like it was a murder. That being said, Chicago always has that one game where they bounce back, and I think this is going to be the game because you've been hearing, everything about Caleb. Caleb Williams has yet to throw for a touchdown, preseason or season. He's rushed for a touchdown, so this is the game I feel that they're going to try and break out. They also did not have Keenan Allen last week. Rome was injured, and if Rome would have caught that pass, Bears win. He had a touchdown in his hands, and he dropped it. I don't know how much of that game. So they were, despite being murdered by the Texans
Bears.
D, they were still somehow in it. And I don't think the Indianapolis offense can handle the Bears
Yeah.
defense. And I think the
Yeah, I
Bears D is
mean,
a strong play. So
yeah.
again, there is going to be a little bias. People say Indy. I'm not going to disagree, but the way that this team, it's same thing with Justin Fields
It's a
last year.
coin
They
flip, right?
started out slow, and then
Hmm.
they just had that moment that clicked. And Caleb Williams has only played 2 games. He's a rookie, and that's what I keep reminding people. Yeah, you never know with rookies until you get them in there. So, but for right now, until they break my heart again, which happens almost every year, I am taking Chicago to beat Indy.
Well,
It is a
this is
coin flip.
this is for a different podcast, but we're gonna have to eventually talk about like why this franchise cannot develop quarterbacks.
Oh, I got answers for you, but yes, they,
Like that's a longer conversation, longer form, but like, dude, it's I don't. When was the last good Chicago quarterback like that they
well, define
developed and
good.
he was good?
Well,
That he was in the top 10 in the fucking NFL.
Cutler, because numbers wise, if you go by numbers
When the
wise,
and how long ago was Jake Cutler? I feel like I was in college when he played.
no, because we watched the NFC Championship game together. So it was like 2000. He was there 2008 to 2012, 13.
Dude,
Cutler, I know that should tell you something.
ages ago.
Num-
Like,
oh no, I'm not disagreeing with you, and I'm only saying numbers wise. I'm not gonna, because
sure,
I,
he was a servant. Right, I agree with you. He was the closest thing to a regular kind of a quarterback that the Bears have had that I remember.
but I can tell you where they went wrong with their last 3 or 4 picks, and again, that's a talk for another day. Because
That's a Bears talk.
it is, and you know what?
Podcast.
It's hilarious, and it just happens. Because I know they're not the only franchise that has not sucked for a while, and it's only been like 10, 12 years that they've sucked big time. But anyhow, I feel like the Bears D and the Bears special teams are going to control this game, and I feel like Caleb Williams is going to have his break. It may not be a major breakout, but I think this is where he's going to break out because he needs to, and I think they're going to push it. They could not run, they could not do anything against that. Houston is legit. Houston to me is going to be in the AFC Championship. They could beat the Chiefs. They're probably the only team right now in the AFC that I could say could beat the Chiefs. Because I know everyone's going to hate
I'm willing
the
to give
Chiefs
you
and
that.
call frauds.
I haven't seen anybody else like.
Yeah, but I'm just that's the thing. I think right now if the Texans are going to the Super Bowl, it's in the next 2-3 years. CJ Stroud has it. Their defense is great. So like I said, Bears are screwed. I never thought the Bears were going to win. I'm surprised that they lost by 6. So I was just happy they're in
Mm.
it. They had a drive at the end that could have actually won it. And like I said, DJ Moore was open, and unfortunately, Caleb Williams, he was getting battered all day. He just missed a wide open DJ Moore, and it is what it is. But you know what?
It would
It's
have been
that's
nice.
football. It would have been nice. It would have been nice for a parlay. We would have made like $12. So,
Nice.
uh,
Can almost
all
get
right.
like some shit off the dollar menu.
I know. All right. So our next our final 1 p.m. game, and this to me is the game I'm hoping to watch. I am hoping.
Yeah.
Speaking about Houston, I am hoping this is on TV out of all the 1 p.m. games. This one I want to see. But this is your final pick. It is Houston and
Yeah.
Minnesota. Minnesota, surprisingly at 2-0. We mentioned Sam Darnold, but even C.J. Stroud's having a great year. But what are your thoughts on this game?
Well, again, I'm taking Minnesota. I've just been really impressed with Minnesota. I have them as my defense. And they were able to stop the 49ers last week. Um, and again, I believe in Brian Flores as a defensive coordinator. I think he's pretty good. Um, and I think that the Minnesota offense can actually keep up with the Texans, based on what's happened, um, so far this year. So, to me, going with the home pick, going with Minnesota. I know it's like they're both 2-0, but I cannot see Minnesota dropping this at home. They've just been really solid. So, and the resurgence of Sam Darnold continues.
Yeah, this is a tough one for me to agree with you, and I do mean tough. I mean because it's Houston, and I could see a point for them. Like I said, Houston to me is the stronger team, and I could see I would pick them. But if Minnesota comes out on top of this, if they come out 3-0, and it's based on the rest of the division, this will be
Oh
the
yeah, that's
statement.
right. You
This
you
is going
don't
to be
like
this.
this.
Well, no, no, no. I'm better with Minnesota because I lived in Minnesota for 7 years than I am with Green Bay. Everyone in the division is fuck Green Bay.
Right.
Minnesota, I actually, I loved watching them. When they had like Randy Moss and everything, like it was just insane. But I'm just where Houston is. This is going to be tough if it's all based on Darnold. If Darnold plays the way he has and can beat the Houston D, and that's the matchup to watch. This
Hmm.
is going to be the statement. Like if you're right, if Minnesota goes 3-0, this is like the sleeper pick of the year. But like I said, I mean, obviously your pick, it's the one that goes through. I just like I said, the way Houston's been playing, but I'm excited for this game because no matter what, this should be a great game. I'm hoping it's a
Yeah,
great
I'll
game.
be watching this on Sunday for sure. So, because I got good old NFL Sunday ticket, baby.
So before we go to the 4 p.m. and Monday night games, like I said, what we do is even though we kind of compete against each other in the picks, we do put it in a parlay. And just for the hell of it, it's again only $1. So if we take the 6 winners that we picked, this might have been the safest pick we've done. Buccaneers, Steelers, Browns, Saints, Vikings, Bears.
Yeah.
$1 wins 23.70.
Hey,
Honestly,
that's a gift
we've
card.
picked a lot of because we picked
PlayStation.
5 home teams. I think these are all favored. There might have been one. Even the Bears are favored against Indy. Um,
Mm.
Hence why that's why it's kind of not a bigger profit that we've seen in the past. But we should see. Like I said, 6 is easier because we've had 8 and 10, and I mean, we got beat last week. I know you went 3-2, but like I said, a lot of games went the wrong way, and a lot of people got picked the wrong ones. A lot of upsets.
Oh
So
hell yeah!
but
It's the
yeah,
best
so
part about this
this
stupid
is
ass
one
sport.
this is our I know, and that's why we love it, and that's why we do this. But yeah, so this is our 6 pick parlay for the 1 p.m. games, and the reason why we do the 1 p.m. games, I don't like doing other times because say we did like 7 games at one, and then we had the one Sunday night game. If we win all 7, then you're like you could cash out early, but there's too much anxiety for me to be like, oh man, should we just cash out at like
Oh
say
yeah,
this thing like
absolutely.
$6 or go all in and
No,
win something bigger
I
because
agree.
again we only do a buck because this isn't breaking the bank, but yeah, that's why
No,
that's just easy and it
$1.
just cuts it and we're good. But yeah,
$1.
let's look at some of the 4 o'clock games and the rest of the games. Just
For
kind of
sure.
talk about this game looks like garbage, but it's happening. Carolina at Las Vegas. It's in Las Vegas. I mean, I'm not going to say much. I know the only thing I am going to say is Carolina starting Andy Dalton. They have bench
Yeah,
Bryce Young.
the Red Rifle.
I was trying to pick up Chuba Hubbard just for a backup running back because I know how he did last year. He obviously is on the shit team, but he gets the garbage points a little bit. So, but I'm sorry though, I gotta go with Vegas. It's in Vegas, and that's the only reason. I do not see this being a fantastic game, but
I'm gonna say
Vegas,
Carolina wins this game.
maybe. You know what? It would not surprise me with Dalton. I mean,
I'm
Dalton's
gonna
just been the
say
journeyman.
because Dalton just he's a blue collar guy.
I like him. I've always
Just
liked
knows
Dalton
how to run the
as
offense.
a
Maybe
person.
they squeak one out. I mean, it's Las
If
Vegas.
they're gonna, yeah,
Fuck.
that's true. If they are gonna squeak one out, it is gonna be against Vegas. Do not get me wrong.
I am not watching this
If
game.
this, oh no, I mean, I have Red Zone. I usually put the TV on Red Zone, and I'll watch like another game that on my phone, because I get some shit on free on my phone. But I usually like Red Zone because they just show me what I need to see, the scoring thing. Um, but that being said, if this was in Carolina, I probably would pick Carolina. And if Carolina wins, would not shock the shit out of me. But right now, just for the hell of it, I'm saying Las Vegas.
Okay,
Next
I'll go
game.
Carolina for the shits and giggles.
This is all just shits and giggles. That's all we do. Miami at Seattle. This
Tua?
with no Tua. No
No,
Tua.
ain't no Tua.
I
No
mean,
Tua.
technically still the top performer. I bet that.
Sure.
No Tua. They still the A chain should be playing.
He's gonna get a lot of rushes
He is, and
because they don't
Seattle's
really have a lot else going on.
nope. And I don't even know who's the backup for Miami. I am playing the Seattle defense. I'm riding them. I was going to sit them
Yeah.
till Tua got injured. Um,
Oh yeah, I like Seattle.
Seattle
This.
plays games tough, as I know you saw with the New England game.
They
They're
did.
not going to
Yes.
blow you out, but I think the Seattle D is going to be all over the Miami
hmm
offense. I'm
Agreed.
thinking Seattle wins this one. If they had
Yep.
Tua, I would easily go Miami. Like a healthy Tua, there's no question it would be Miami. But with no Tua, Tyreek Hill still a little banged up. I'm sorry. I
I don't
Seattle's going to
know.
stop that. I mean, anything's
Even
possible,
if
but
Tua was healthy, Tua didn't look good in that game against the Bills.
now
Um, that was not a great game for him. And I know he obviously went out with a concussion at the end there, but I don't know. I'm feeling kind of shitty about Miami going to the Super Bowl these days.
yeah, we won't talk about that Super
I
Bowl
don't feel
pick. San
great
Fran beats
about that
Miami.
pick, right?
No, that's a tough one. I mean, I have KC beating Detroit, but Detroit didn't
I
look
don't feel
good
good
either. But
about Detroit going anywhere right now, but that's me. I like
we'll see.
Detroit. I think they're well coached, but they were at home against the Buccaneers and they look like shit. Well, they look like shit, but they didn't look great.
Yeah, but I take it you're going to take Seattle as well. I mean,
Yeah, I think this is pretty much a no-brainer.
our next game, two teams that are just somehow figuring out Baltimore.
Surprising.
I never would have thought. I mean, I know Baltimore played what
It's the
KC week
Chiefs.
one,
Yeah.
and they just lost to Vegas, right? Didn't they lose? Isn't that who they lost to? Who did they just lose to? I already forgot. Let me go. Let me check my notes. But two teams that are not doing as well as we expected. Baltimore,
hmm
yeah, they lost to Vegas. Um,
And I just picked the Panthers. Great.
it's all right. Remember, these aren't official picks. These are just us talking out.
No, I
Um,
know. It's still embarrassing.
I think Dallas, as much as they want to get back for that embarrassing loss to New Orleans, I think right now Baltimore needs to put up or shut up. They cannot be 0-3. Not in the AFC, not in that division. I think
It'd be
Lamar Jackson and
surprising,
company
especially
is
how
going
they
to.
looked in the. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Go
feel
ahead.
like this is a ball out game for Jackson. Um,
hmm Me too.
honestly, I do think this is going to be a good game. I think this is going to be closer than people think. I think Dallas is going to tighten up their shit too. But in the end, I am picking Baltimore to beat Dallas. Them boys
I
aren't
can
doing it.
I can definitely see Baltimore. And Baltimore should beat Dallas. I feel that Baltimore's a better team. They've got a better quarterback. They've got a better offensive scheme. I think they're better coached. I think Dallas is another fraud franchise. Um, so yeah, I mean, I really can't see the Cowboys beating the Ravens this game. Ravens gonna go 1-2.
We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, no, we agree. Baltimore, and they need to. An 0-3 Baltimore team, that's some scary shit. That's unexpected.
Very
Um,
unexpected. Yeah.
all right, so the next game, let me take a look here on my notes. This San Fran Rams, the injury game. No
hmm
McCaffrey, no Debo
mm,
Samuel, no
yeah.
Cup, no Pook. Like everyone
Yep.
is just injured. Um,
Everybody in fantasy. Yep.
I think that being said, Mason has definitely been a great backup for McCaffrey. He's definitely shown he can do it. He can take the leading role. Hence, I do not think the Rams will figure it out. Not,
No.
I don't know how their, third, fourth, fifth receivers might do, but San Fran still has
Oh
some
yeah.
weapons. They got Mason, they still got
Yeah.
Kittle and Brock Purdy still manages the game. He's not going to flash it up, but he can still manage it. So I'm taking San Fran in this one. The
Oh yeah,
Rams are just way too banged up.
agreed. San Francisco. I mean, I still see San Francisco as Super Bowl contender, although they didn't look great against the Vikings. But I get it. It is what it is. But
It's 17
um,
games. Okay.
it's 17 games, but I still think San Fran's got what it takes, and
Yeah,
I can see them bouncing back. And the Rams really struggling right now.
they
So
are. They are.
I
And
hate that there are two teams in LA. By the way, I hate the Chargers and the Rams both being in there. I can't stand it. I get the abbreviations confused all the time because like I'm a San Diego Chargers. Like I remember them. So I don't know. Two LA teams. That's the subject for another day. But thumbs down.
thumbs down. All right, the next one. I'm gonna laugh. I'll let you do the pick, just because it's been a joke on ours for the last couple of weeks. Detroit at Arizona. Your favorite bird, the Cardinals.
It is. I mean, I can't go
And
against
but
them.
Detroit's got
Yeah.
your fantasy. You drafted like
All
4 or
my
5
fantasy
people.
team. Laporta,
Um,
Montgomery, and motherfucking Jameson Williams. I think he's
yeah.
gonna have a good game too. But yeah, I want all the Detroit Lions guys to put up numbers, and then I want them to lose. Um,
So you're
so
taking the
I can easily
Cardinals.
see, I can easily, well, objectively, I can easily see the Lions losing this game, and then subjectively, I'm picking the Cardinals because birds.
Well, I will tell you, Cardinals have surprised me. Kyler Murray, another person that we joked, who would have thought
He's so
he's
little.
right now. He is, but right now, if you look at the numbers he had, even compared to the other people like Sam Darnold and stuff, and Marvin Harrison Jr., he's one
Yeah, he
game,
found him.
first game suck, yeah, and
He found him. He was
he
there.
did. So I'm with you. I think Arizona pulls this one out. I think Arizona's going to be another kind of like the Vikings, maybe not as good as the Vikings, but another team that's going to sneak into the playoffs, possibly. They're gonna
Maybe,
be there.
yeah.
Uh,
I think Kyler's gonna break at some point, but we'll see.
Hopefully not anytime soon. Um, all right, so the next game,
He's so
your
little.
favorite team,
That's
the
gonna, yeah.
Chiefs, at Atlanta.
Oh
Atlanta with
God.
one of the already a big upset, beating the Philadelphia
Oh my
Eagles. Do
God.
you
It'd be so
think
fucking funny if they did it to the Chiefs.
it's in Atlanta? Um, I'm going to
They
let you.
won't. They
You know,
won't.
I mean, as much as I joked and said there's no way Atlanta could beat the Philadelphia Eagles, they did. But you know what? As a joke, yeah, maybe. But no, KC. I'm sorry, KC still finds ways, and they gotta find ways against the. These are the
So
games they
annoying.
can't lose. I know, but they can't. This
They
is the.
lost that game against the Bengals, man, and they got fucking, again, bailed out. But um, I was talking to my buddy about this yesterday, and he was like, "You remember when the Patriots would get all the breaks that would go their way, and like the other team would fuck up, or
Yep.
like a penalty would happen at the right time, and then people would be like, 'What the fuck, man? The Patriots are always getting the fucking plays.' He would be like, 'Yeah, so what, buddy? Deal with it. We're just the best.'" He was like, "That's what's happening now with the Chiefs," and I'm like, "Yeah, and I hate it. It sucks. I hate turning it on and seeing them fucking almost lose a game and then fucking just pull it out at the end with their bullshit." So yeah, am I gonna say they're gonna lose against the Falcons? I'm not stupid, but I would think it'd be fucking hilarious if they fucking did. I'll be the first person fucking waking up and just laughing, just cackling if the fucking Falcons do. I can't see it happen. I think that the Chiefs have a better fucking defense than the Eagles. Eagles don't have a good defense. So the Chiefs actually have a pretty decent defense and they're young, but that offense is fucking not as explosive as it used to be. I'm just gonna say that right now. Their
They
numbers
weren't
are all
explosive
down.
last year though, until
Yeah,
the
because they're
second
on their
half.
way down. Because they're fucking trending down.
But they still find
So
ways.
yeah,
And I'm
they do
only
find
kind of
ways.
defending them because I did pick them for the Super Bowl because I feel like it's in the script quotations that the three-peat's going to happen. But we'll
Yeah,
see.
and then
We'll
you know
see.
what? Then they'll never win a Super Bowl for the next 30 fucking years.
That's what happens. When you get your moment. I mean, maybe it's great. That'll be fine by me. Let a new team do it. Hell, let the Bears go back, please.
They're
Yeah.
like 1 or 2 years away from being like the wheels coming the fuck off of their whole entire fucking thing. So if it might be this year, might be last for all. It won't be next year. We'll
We'll
talk
see.
about that next
But
year.
yeah, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But yeah, this is the Sunday night game, so I'll probably watch the first quarter. But surprisingly, this week there's two Monday night games. Very rare for them to happen outside of
Oh
week one.
no.
So the first Monday night game is, or I should say, the earlier of the two, is Jacksonville at Buffalo. Um, I don't know
Jesus
what's happened to
Christ.
Jacksonville. I mean, I'm not saying they're great, but they were, what, in the playoffs the last couple of years, and I think they won 2 years ago. So I'm not. They were
Yeah.
trending up, but this year, and Buffalo is doing what Buffalo. They just again find ways. Josh Allen, yeah, he's not putting up the
Yeah. Thanks.
numbers passing
Thanks,
yet.
Josh Allen.
I know that doesn't help you, but
No,
it's in Buffalo,
no, it doesn't.
Jacksonville. I've not seen anything from them to say that they could beat Buffalo. So to me, Buffalo's going 3-0.
I
That's
hope
my
so.
pick.
I hope he fucking throws the goddamn ball.
Yeah, for your
That's
sake,
all I'm
I do too,
asking.
because I got Shakir on my
Yeah.
team and I got to start him. So yes, as long as Allen keeps throwing to Shakir, just throw him all the touchdowns. Go to Shakir. I'd be so happy.
I love
But
that. Great game plan.
regardless, I Jacksonville, yeah, they outside of their backs. I mean, they have shown nothing to me this year that says
Yeah.
they're even going to make the playoffs.
No, Trevor Lawrence. Yeah, well, not
A-
happening.
And the final Monday night game is a snooze fest, but we'll just kind of quickly talk about it. It is the Washington Commanders at Cincinnati. Um, yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I think Cincinnati is down where this would be the game that they come back. I'm taking Washington. I think
Oh my
Cincinnati.
God. He's
I,
just shitting on the Bengals, man. They look decent in the last game ish. Let's beat
they
the
also look
Chiefs.
decent. They lost to the Pats. They
They look
don't get me
terrible
wrong.
against the Pats.
I honestly should pick Cincy because I know sooner or later Burrow is going to put it together.
It's
But
okay. You can
something
make a spy
you
pick.
know what this isn't a spite pick. This is just a fun pick because it's not an official pick. I'm just saying. Something just tells me that Cincinnati is slowly going a downward spiral, and I kind of like what you said with the Falcons being the Chiefs. I would love it if the Commanders. Now, would I put money on Commanders? No, I wouldn't. But in all honesty,
Uh,
since he should win this, and I think after the last 2 weeks, they might just air it out. But
what
I don't
time are
know.
these games on? Like they look like their times are close together.
Yeah, the last one was 7:30. This one's 8:15. So there's only two. They're going. I don't know why. Um,
What the fuck?
it's until
You're
the
gonna
bye weeks.
switch between these two things? I mean, fucking
No, but
hell! Like, why would you want to watch this shit?
I'll probably watch a little of the Buffalo. I don't care about this game. I don't even think
Oh
I have
my
anyone on
fucking
the fantasy.
god, dude!
Um,
No, I don't.
the
Not
only
for
the
that.
only person I have is the other game, so I'll watch Shakir for it. But then it'll go past my bedtime. I'm like, fuck it, I'm going to bed. Uh,
Yeah, no, no, I don't.
so,
That doesn't make any. No, this game looks like trash. I'll definitely watch the Bills one because obviously Josh Allen.
yeah.
But this is trash.
All right, so now it's time to pick our parlays, and I don't know. So as a joke, yeah. Sometimes we take it seriously, but this week I told Soto, I texted him like, "All right, we're gonna pick in these categories, and we're gonna call this the Big Kahuna's parlay." And these are picks that should not. These are odds that should not happen. They are going to be
Uh-huh.
over the top stats, but they could. So
Okay.
Soto, if you remember, I asked you a few
Yeah.
things. So let's start. A QB to throw for 300 plus yards.
Yeah.
Who do you think
And
would?
my,
Go
yeah.
ahead.
So to me, just looking at the matchups, I went with Lamar Jackson. I think that either he's going to be behind or he's going to light him up. I don't know. It seemed like the best. The Dallas defense is actually not that great right now. Um, so it felt right. I went with Lamar. I think Lamar's going to have a big bounce back game.
I hope so, and you'll see why when I get
I
to my
hope so.
parlay pick. All right, so then I asked you a wide receiver to hit 100 yards receiving. Who did you pick?
Yes. I believe my wide receiver would be Jamison Williams,
Yep.
who I also have in my fantasy team, and who I watched with my eyeballs last week, and I think he's going to do great. I think he was held a little bit under 100 last game, but that's because Amon kind of went off a little bit, but I think he bounces back in this one.
And I will say I am surprised, and especially for us doing a 300-yard passer, it seems like this year there hasn't been many.
There
And
isn't.
and surprisingly, because I feel like other years it's like, oh, a few of them have been getting, some teams haven't, but it was just like week one and week two. But sooner or later, the offense is going to break out. But yeah, we do not, like I said, this is kind of a joke thing, and you're going to see how far of a joke this goes. But yeah, then I asked you a running back to run for
Yeah.
100 yards. Last time we did 70 yards. We're like, no, fucking big balls. We're going all out. Who
Oh,
you
yeah, hell
picked
yeah.
around 100 yards
Oh, and
rushing?
this was easy for me with Mason. As long as he remains healthy, I think that you can just basically chalk him up for 100 plus in that game with San Fran versus LA. So, yeah, that's where I went with that.
And I agree. I think, yeah, Mason is definitely proved, like I said earlier, he can be a reliable backup for McCaffrey, reliable starter. So And the last one, we've sometimes done a touchdown score, but we decided to up it a little bit. Who do you think is going to score 2 touchdowns in a game?
Oh, dude, easy for me. Kamara. I think he's gonna light up the Eagles. He's been fucking. People avoided drafting him too in fantasy, and he is back to being the receiving and running threat that he was before. He's in top form, and I don't think the Phillies defense got what it takes.
Yeah, we'll see. But the way Kamara and the Saints have been playing, it's hard to disagree with you there. Like I said, they've
Hmm.
been on fire. Derek Carr's been on fire. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, Kamara getting 2 touchdowns, I can kind of see that.
Hmm.
So, Soto,
Big
uh,
Kahuna.
Kahuna, if so, we put $1 on everything that Soto just said. 4 picks, just 4 picks, but big
Oh,
numbers,
just
big
four?
numbers. Just four. Those are your four. The one
Oh,
QB, the
cool. A four
one
leg
receiver,
parlay.
a simple one, but
Hmm.
because of the numbers, these are tough numbers to get. So you're $1, Soto. If you hit on all four of your legs, um, this is gets interesting here. So your
Hmm.
$1 would win us $372.60.
Oh my God! Wow, what would we do with all that?
Oh, I don't know. But again, you know what? Like I said, this is, and by the way, I will say this. If you look at the numbers, it says Lamar Jackson 275. That was the cap. He was one of the few QBs that did not have a 300 plus option. So that is the highest I
Mm,
could have gone. So FYI, it is actually
wow.
275 for Lamar Jackson. There was, because a lot of the QBs you can pick 300, some more. They are like, there's no way. So this is the highest.
There's no way.
Well, according to DraftKings, all
Yeah,
this is from DraftKings, and again,
sure, yeah.
we're having fun with this. So Soto, let me tell you what I did, and I kind of, I wanted to do the same.
$372. Oh my God.
Oh,
The fuck,
dude,
man?
it gets better. This gets so much better, or funnier. So obviously, I didn't want to do the same picks as you. I kind of agree with you on some of them. Like Mason was the obvious one. Lamar Jackson will ball out, but I'm looking at the QB matchups. And I'm trying to figure out a 300 plus legitimate passer. And I'm like,
There
someone's going to
hasn't been a
shock me.
lot, dude.
The one person I think, and I think this game's going to be high scoring on both ends, and this is going to be a
I can't
shocker.
wait for this.
Kyler Murray. I think Marvin Harrison's going to have a day, and I think against that Detroit D, I think Murray's going to get 300 yards.
Yeah, yeah, you
It
might
was
be
tough.
right.
I forgot who else. I'm trying to look. It was him or someone else. I mean, Lamar Jackson to me, I think I would have taken as well. Actually, yeah, C.J. Stroud, I think we looked at before, but against that Minnesota D, it was tough.
No,
And
I went
Derek
against it,
Carr,
yeah.
even we talked about that Philly offense. It's tough. Or defense, excuse me, the Philly defense. I know they're suspectable, but at the same time, I don't know. Something against Detroit. And I know you picked the receiver, but I think this is the game that's going to be aired out. And I think Kyler Murray, as we've seen, his numbers have been a lot better. So I'm taking him. So for my
If
100
he
yard
can,
rush,
yeah, if he can avoid the rush and scramble and get out and start throwing it against that Detroit secondary, I think that you might be onto something.
and I think Marvin Harrison Jr., we're going to get to that in a second but yeah, I think he's going to have another field day. But I think Murray could hit 300 against Detroit.
Hmm.
Rusher, this is the one I had a little difficulty with because I did 100% agree with you out of all this if I had to pick Mason. I'm trying to look
Easy.
because I had a couple others. Um, now, but I went with the guy who's actually technically the leading rusher right now. And the hard part is I know you picked Pittsburgh to win, but I think the
Hmm.
Chargers are going to run it and run it a lot more than people expect. I took Dobbins to hit 100 yards. Now,
Mm.
against the Pittsburgh D is tough, and I think that's why the odds are up there, but he is the leading rusher. Chargers are 2-0, and so is Pittsburgh. Um, I think they're going to I think this is going to be a running game. I think Chargers are going to run a lot more than pass, and I think Dobbins will get 100 yards. Now, again, a running back in 100 yards in this day and age is very hard. Everything's, screen passes too. But again,
Hmm.
we're talking about big balls. This is a dumbass parlay. But out of everyone else, because I couldn't pick Mason, I'm taking Dobbins. It was tough.
Not bad.
Because also you took Kamara as that, and I'm like, yeah, but I think Dobbins, he's the lead back for a reason, and I think he's going to get 100 yards.
Nice.
So the receiver kind of goes along the lines with your Lamar Jackson. I have him on my fantasy. I've been seeing the numbers, and I took Say Flowers. The one, I think
Because you're
that's the.
convinced. You're like,
I,
yeah, I've seen it.
well, no, I see the numbers, and not only did I
Hmm.
take him for 100 plus receiving yards, I picked him as my 2 touchdown person. So I'm kind of doubling
Wow.
up on him. I think you're right. I think Lamar Jackson is going to go off on this Dallas D. If anything,
Kind of
say
has to.
but hard part is we need Dallas to be competitive because that's the only way you hit 300 yards if you're going back and
Yeah.
forth. That's why I think Kyler
Yes.
Murray,
They
but
will
I'm
be.
with you. So, but I think Say Flowers can hit 100 yards. I think he can easily score 2 touchdowns as long as they're not too much in running position, situations. But I took Say Flowers not only as my 100-yard receiver, but as the person to get 2 touchdowns because that was another difficult one. I'm like, I could see a lot of these. But Soto, you thought yours was hilariously high for
Yeah.
301. We put $1 bet on that. So what did I just say? Kyler Murray QB, Dobbins
Yeah.
100-yard rusher, Say Flowers 100-yard receiver and 2 touchdowns. We know this is ridiculous, people. $1 bet on my 4 pick parlay would win
Mm.
us. Excuse me, I'm going to clear my throat. $1,320.
Oh my God. What do we even do with all that?
We'll figure that. We'll buy out last try.
Well, all
We'll go,
right. You know what? Let's start there. We'll buy out less trials, and then we'll see what happens next.
so
We'll
Soto,
start. That'll be the first step. And pizza.
Uh, so pizza, yes. So Soto, I did something that I have not told you yet. So we have our two parlays separate, and that's something we've been doing. We kind of because fun with different things. But I'm like, what if, what if we combined our two parlays into one? How
Oh
much
my
would we
God.
win? Oh, it happened. But Soda, something happened to me on DraftKings that has never happened to me before. And now mind you, I only bet $1. It wasn't like I was making $1,000 bet. It wasn't like I was making a $10,000 bet. It had to be verified. They said, please hold on and I've never seen this. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But there is a reason, Soda. So mind you, we put $1. I know this dollar is wasted. Congrats, DraftKings. Soda, I got to ask you, combining, if we got all eight
Oh my
picks, what
God.
do you think would be the end result? How much money do you think
An
we would have won?
eight-leg parlay.
That's, with this ridiculousness, how
Wow. It's
much?
got. Look, I don't know anything about gambling, but it's got to be at least like $10,000 or some bullshit like this.
Are you sitting down, Soto? Are you sitting down?
Yes, I'm sitting down. What could it possibly be
So
for a
if we
dollar?
both win, and this went through, if we both are right, do you
What?
see? See, this is what I
Eight-leg
want.
parlay. Oh, we like 162. Well, okay, we're definitely buying out last trials, and then we might be moving in together. Like I don't know. Like
We'll get a duplex, we can both. But
yeah, we might be becoming like
So
roommates or some shit. We might buy a
I'm fine
house.
with that because then we can just do a podcast at home. We can do it live. But yeah, I
Yeah.
laugh because I had no
Wow.
plans for this. I put yours in because we spoke
Definitely down
earlier, and
payment.
I put mine in, and then I was like, I thought as a joke because again, we spend more on a cup of coffee than this. Like, I know this
Yeah.
isn't serious, and I'm like, what would it be? And
$1?
seriously, it had to be verified. Like, it said, hold on, because we had to have like an official person look. And I was like, what? And I died laughing. And I wanted to tell you in advance, like, I'm like, I gotta let this story breathe. And then instantly, because they were like, "Oh, this." But imagine if this happened, one hundred
Oh,
and 62,800. We'll figure out the taxes
wow.
afterwards. Again, I do not expect
Yeah,
this to
yeah.
happen because
Oh, be
this is a
nice,
ridiculous
man.
parlay just on our own to begin with. But
Yeah,
yes, if
yeah.
all this happens, Soto, we are gonna. Well, what we'll figure that out. But we could buy a house
Yeah.
or at least put a down payment to a house.
First Outlast trials, and then we'll figure
Pizza,
out
no,
everything
no,
else
no,
after.
no.
Oh,
Pizza,
pizza.
no, same time, same time. You know what? We'll do like I know we didn't know each other as kids, but be like kids. We'll have a sleepover and just have
Yes.
pizza. We're like,
Pizza
fuck it.
party.
We're like, what? We got money. But yes, Soto,
Yeah.
this is hilarious. So frame it, whatever.
Oh,
But seriously,
oh
like I said,
boy.
that's why we,
That'd be
we call this a
hilarious.
biggie kahuna. But I've never seen, again, I've never done big bets on it. I think the biggest I've done is like a $5 or $10 bet. I don't go all
Yeah.
out on DraftKings like I've seen some people do.
My God, what if you
Um,
just bet $20? Holy Jesus.
all right, so hold on. You want? Let me do the math on this. Give me
Yeah.
1 second. All right, so I got
You
my
threw down
trusty
like
calculator,
the old
162.
Taco Bell
So if we did
$20, right?
this times, so Soto, if we were to put $20 on this, and we would have won, I'm gonna just round it, but $3.25 million.
But a stupid ass parlay. I don't know if I can look at myself in the mirror in that situation. I'd be like, I didn't do anything for this shit. Like, I just guessed.
But here's the funny
The
thing.
fuck,
Say this.
$2.5
This
million.
could be the funniest thing, or the most
Oh,
paid.
people
Say
do this?
people do that. Well, probably not to the extent we did, but yes, they do because they.
Oh,
But imagine this: what if we hit on 7 and say Kyler Murray passes for 299? We lost. But
that'd be
imagine
sad.
that'd be pretty sad. Um,
I'll be like, I guess it was not meant to be.
I don't think this is meant to be.
I'll
We sound like
understand. I'll be like, I get it. I get it. I'll look up to the universe and be like, I totally understand that I was not ready for $162,000 to all of a sudden appear in my life. I understand, universe. I accept it. I'm okay with it. So I won't get too mad. But man, what a
Yeah.
surprise that would be.
Yeah, and I laughed. I didn't think it was going to bounce up that high, but yeah, that is the dollar bet right there. That is just the most
Jesus.
hilarious shit to me ever. So, oh,
God damn, dude. I don't even make that shit a year. Holy shit.
no one makes that shit in a year.
Well, some people do.
Some people
Not
do, but
us.
not us people. But
It's not us. I'll tell you that much right now. It's definitely not us. Wow.
all right, anything else you want to say before we end this?
No, what the fuck else can I say? Like,
Wish for $162,000.
yeah, sure. It's like, oh, how did you end up breaking it in your podcast? Oh, we accidentally won $162,000 once off of this stupid ass Picks, Parlays, and Pizza fucking podcast that we do. Just throwing dots at the wall. It's not a bad way to make a living, man. But yeah, like that's definitely a down payment on a house. That's for sure.
That would be, but all right. So that's our picks. I know we're gonna watch the Pats Jets game tomorrow.
Yeah.
I know go Pats for you, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that will do it for us. So, but it's been fun.
Wow.
Any last words before we leave?
No, I'm just flabbergasted. I don't even know. Like, I'm already thinking to myself, I'm like, are you okay if I use a charcoal grill in the lawn? Like, can we work this out? Like, go over some rules of big like all I want to do is just charcoal grill. You cool with that?
I'm fine
And,
as long as
okay.
as long as you invite us over. That's all I care about.
And absolutely.
We'll bring the food.
Obviously,
We'll bring
you're
some
there.
burgers and dogs.
All right.
Stay.
To be continued.
Let's put it this way: if we're not here next week, now
We'll
you know
be
why.
here. Oh, we'll be here and it'll be like the shortest podcast. We're not doing any picks this week. We're taking the week off because we have to figure out what the fuck is going on in our lives. Like, how the fuck? What are we gonna do? What's the next step? You know what I mean? So it's like we're gonna take a week off if we do, but 99.9% chance we'll be back here again, and I will be 1-2 of my fantasy team, and then
have faith. Have faith. 2-1. Have faith.
It's okay. I just need to tread water until CMC gets back. That's all. I'm good.
I just need to survive a few weeks until him, Walker, and Cup come back. So, all right. Well, that will do it for us. Till next time. Have a good one.